my name is Cheryl Knowlton, and I'm the CEO and Chief Energy Officer of Dynamite Productions. I help individuals and companies to unmute themselves so that they can deliver command performances.
Tell me what that means.
To deliver a command performance is to seize the spotlight and to do it with confidence. And we think about it, we know that globally, 75% of people say that the fear of public speaking is their biggest fear, that they would literally rather die than deliver the eulogy, which means they'd rather be in the casket than delivering the eulogy. That fear is actually called something. It's called glossophobia. Why it's named that? That doesn't make any sense. We could probably name it something else, like sweaty palm syndrome or something like that, where your body totally gives you away when you're freaking out and terrified to get in front of other people. And that's not okay. So helping people to deliver those command performances when they are in those high stakes situations is what I live to do.
Why?
Because I spent way too much of my life. Why'd you make me emotional? Because I spent way too much of my life muted. We got to know and love Zoom during the pandemic. How many times as an instructor did I have to tell people, or even in a coaching session, unmute yourself? And we decided that kind of needs to be a thing. And that starts with giving ourselves the permission to just unmute ourselves and say what needs to be said.
What? Let's go.
I probably don't want to go there either.
Because I want you to say that on stage, so I don't need you to answer that here. But what have you seen? Why do you want others to help unmute themselves?
The more leadership opportunities we get, the more opportunities we get to speak publicly. And I found when I was new in corporate America, I had great ideas. I had awesome things that really would have moved the needle for my company. And what did I do? I zipped it and I didn't say anything because I was so terrified of what she would think of the idea, or whether he would be offended by it, or whether it was going to make me look stupid, whether it actually wasn't a good idea at all. And so I just didn't say anything. And I'm a little tired of that. And I'm here to help others to share their story and seize the spotlight. And it doesn't have to be a huge spotlight. It can be a little spotlight, or it can be a huge opportunity, or it can be a job interview, or it can be a first date, whatever it looks like. Those crucial conversations need to happen, and they need to happen now.
Do you want to relate to larger organizations and say, like, as your people unmute, then they will all contribute more and have more ideas? Or
Sure.
Does that work, or are you aiming more towards individuals?
Both.
Okay, then I would add a line like that.
I'll just let you say it.
Okay.
Yeah. Pull up the chair.
As people, I would relate. I'm going to add this back in. So relate just as I learned to unmute and contribute to my business. As people unmute, they contribute ideas and right. This is a very corporate speak.
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
Okay. It was perfect. You do it.
I have delivered it to you.
In a corporate setting, the more people give themselves permission to unmute themselves, the more they will contribute. And if they contribute, the team will grow, the company will grow, and everyone is benefited by that.
Awesome. That's exactly what.
So what they need now is my good friend Lindsay, who will help them to identify what it is they are hiding and what they need to unleash so that they can really, truly unleash their power.
Love it. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
What will everyone leave with when they're done? Because this isn't even just a presentation. This is just working with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say, like, after your audience on stage. I'm saying, what do they walk away with?
So this is where I'm going to need to cheat and look at this a little bit, because I won't remember the whole thing. So do you want it on my lap, or do you want to do it individually?
That's fine. I would love for you to look at it and then look up it.
So if this hand is down here,
yeah,
that doesn't look awkward at all.
Yeah, that's weird. You can just leave it in your lap now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So look at it, refer to it, and then because I still want you to do this.
All right.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that.
Okay.
Okay.
So
what does everyone leave with? What's the takeaway?
The takeaway is my signature IGNITE formula. And I live for acronyms, so IGNITE is, of course, an acronym. And here is what it stands for. I is for Yeah, I had to look at it again because that was a long time ago. I is for identifying your strengths and weaknesses. Each of us comes to this planet with divine strengths and weaknesses, whether they come from our parentage or from our personality or whether they come from heaven or all of the above. We need to identify our strengths and weaknesses. Why? Because as we identify and then have awareness and then lean into our strengths, we can play in the sandboxes we love and create more joy in our lives and likely more success. I don't know about anybody else, but my weaknesses have swam up and bit me in the behind more times than I care to recall. Those weaknesses, if we're not aware of them, become blind spots, both personally and professionally. So creating awareness around them so we can go, I see you, and surround ourselves with people who are going to help us with our strengths and hire out our weaknesses, frankly, to the very best of our ability, and get the support that we need. You ready for the next one?
I sure am.
Okay. G in Ignite is for generate your aligned, authentic personal brand. We hear so much about personal branding, but how do we do that? We have great friends in our National Speakers Association family who specialize in teaching us how to create a brand that doesn't suck. My good friend Ernie Harker, who has helped me to identify more who I am and align with my personal brand. For years, I didn't think that I could be who I actually am. And so when I did a branding session with him, he told me that my brand words are sparkle bomb and glitter and all these things. And I thought, how is that corporate? But as I bring that into my presentations, I'm hired for my energy. Knowing that allows me to lean into that as a strength and then generate a personal brand around that. Okay. N is for nurture and structure your personal stories, because all of us have personal stories, things that have happened to us that no one else can get on the stage and share that. They are your gifts to share with the world, and they're impactful. But learning how to structure that story, and it can be any story. It doesn't have to be, I have to find the right story. It can be any story. It's learning how to structure it for the biggest impact and the most meaning so that it can help and change another human's life. Oh, I use the word ignite in my acronym. What's another I word? I didn't realize that had happened. Oh, well, we're going with it. Influence. So it's ignite your stage presence. So.
Incinerate.
Oh, well, most people feel like that's actually so brilliant. What's that? That's about blocking and staging and rehearsal strategy and we're just using Ignite. Okay. I is ignite your stage presence. Having been a 2-time graduate of heroic public speaking, which is the Hogwarts in the world of public speaking, and when I went through the first time, I honestly thought I was going to have a medical event and I was not going to survive. I was so terrified. And so I get the fear that people get, that they feel when they're going to take any size stage. So learning rehearsal strategies, and I'm not a memorizer, but learning to get it inside of you so that you're ready, blocking and staging and pauses and vocal inflections so that it has variance in the cadence and the speed and so that we can make it fun and interesting for people. That is igniting stage presence. And that's the word we're going with for now.
That's it.
Okay. All right. T is for tackling the structure of a keynote. This morning on my way here, I had somebody ask me, I want to be a public speaker. How do I get started? I'm like, how much time do you have? I got to go take care of my people. But I thought there's so much to that. And one of the questions that I'm asked a lot is, how do I create and structure a keynote? Well, I didn't know how to do that. I had been speaking publicly for years, probably about 18 years, when I decided I want to learn how to structure a keynote, because I was a trainer. And very specifically in the real estate industry, I had no idea how to deliver a keynote. I saw those people as way up here, and I would never be that. but it's a matter of learning the structure. So my good friend, Jason Hewlett, Hall of Fame speaker and somebody that I aspire to be. I will never be that funny. My face cannot do what he does, but he gave me a great, simple structure for a keynote that I love to help people go through that process. And his structure is as follows: 3 points and a poem. That is Jason Hewlett's structure of a great keynote. So figuring out who you are trying to impact, who is your audience, what do you want them to think, what do you want them to feel as a result of hearing you speak, what do you want those takeaways to be? Then with that framework, what should those 3 points be? What are we going to end with to leave them with amazing impact? And that is how we create a keynote.
Great.
Yeah.
One last one. Okay.
The last one, E, is for engage the audience. There are so many ways to engage the audience, to make it fun for them, everything from games to hand raising to technology games and things that we can use to interact with that way, and then very low tech things like ball and, throwing a ball around and, raising hands and things like that. But engaging the audience, getting them involved is a very important way for them to be on that ride and on that journey with you.
Awesome. Then last question is, what sets you apart? Why should someone do this with you?
How long do we have?
30 seconds.
30 seconds? What sets me apart? Why should someone do this with me? I love working with people individually, one-on-one, and take them through their stories, to mine the diamonds in their own personal stories so that they can see themselves as the amazing speaker that they are. And you don't have to be the most polished. People don't hire people to be the most polished speaker. They want real. I can do real.